Hi guys, my name is Jordan and I run the gaming channel It's Gaming Productions, and welcome to Free Game Friday. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not actually in a game, but basically that's because this is, instead of it being a game as such, it's more of a tool, if that makes any sense to you. It's like, it's something which I use on a regular basis, which I think is absolutely awesome. It's free. So that's why I thought I'd include it in Free Game Friday, but it really is so helpful, especially if you're, well, just in general, it's just so helpful for when you're playing games and stuff. So if you can't tell already, it is Razer. Actually, if you can tell already, you're pretty good. But this is Razer Game Booster, and it's in beta at the moment, but it should soon be released as a final program. There we go. I was trying to think of the right words to say there, but basically, I have been using. It used to be made by a company called IOBit. I think that's the right name of it. And basically, what they've done is, I think they've basically sold the rights to Razer for them to brand and use the software. Not entirely sure the exact specifics on it, but that's like the general idea of what's happened. So as you can see, it's all got like the nice Razer branding and everything like that, which unfortunately it does mean that you do have to sign into a Razer Synapse account. You have to sign up for one and sign in for it, but that basically just means that any profile, like gaming profiles and stuff you have like that, will just sync across. But other than that, it's not really much of a disadvantage over the old one. If you did use the old one, then it is pretty much the same. The only few differences is that obviously it is Razer branded, and there's just a few more options and stuff like that. And as you can see, because it is a beta, there is a feedback button there, so you can give feedback on it. The link will be in the description to download this, so don't worry if you can't find where to download it from and such. So basically, when you first launch it up, you'll have this sort of menu with, it would detect all the games you have installed on your system so far, and if it doesn't, I'm just going to go through the process of adding a game. So you click on this add button, and then it will take you to this sort of page, and then you just need to navigate to where your game is. So for example, mine is going to be Minecraft, so I'm just going to open that, and that's it. It's just in there straight away. And what you can do is, if you double click on this, you can see at the bottom it's boosting my game, and there we go. And what it's done is, it's actually, I'll show you exactly what it does, but it basically does various things to the computer to try and increase the performance and such of your games and stuff like that. So it just makes Minecraft run super smooth and stuff like that. But not really gonna go into the details. It does work with every single game on your system, and it even, believe it or not, works with sorry, I'm just going to open it back up. As you can see, it restores to normal mode when you exit the game. But anyway, what it does, it opens up a few programs again. Just open that back up again. There we go. Initializing. There we go. So we're back into it. But what it does is, if you go onto this configure tab, you can see exactly what it does. But what it does is it stops various processes. So if you see, it's got a tick box next to it to say this is what I'm going to stop, and blah blah blah. You can just tick things you want to stop, and it will, you can just tick anything you need to stop. But what it also does is, it will also clean the RAM. So that means it defrags the RAM, so you get loads of RAM available for the game and stuff like that. It clears anything on your clipboard. It changes your power settings to high performance automatically. So if you've got it in power saving or balanced, it will change it to high performance, so you do get the maximum performance out of your machine. If it's a laptop, obviously. If it's not a laptop, then that doesn't really make much difference. And then you can set it to close explorer.exe and turn off automatic updates. I tend not to turn off Explorer.exe just because I quite often alt-tab out of games and stuff like that, and with it closed, it just makes it a bit more slower and not as good. But yeah, so that is sort of the basics. So as you can see, if you click on a game and click launch, it will automatically launch it. But also, if I just quickly herpity-derpity across, if I start Minecraft, it will, well, it should, it used to in the old one. If it doesn't, this is just a problem with the beta, and it didn't. But what it should normally do is it would normally launch and automatically boost the game anyway for you. But anyway, we'll just go skip over that. And sorry if you just got a bit of interference there. I think that was just my phone receiving some email or something. But if we go onto this settings tab, you can see like various extra settings. So you can set it to minimise to the tray when you close the program, auto minimise the tray, and you can select whether you want it to return to normal mode when game is over. And this is a feature which has been added by Razer. This wasn't in the previous edition, which is you can switch to gaming mode when a Steam game is launched, which is always pretty handy, because it means when you launch a game from Steam, it will automatically boost the game for you. So yeah, and then you can also have hotkeys to switch to gaming mode, normal mode, and like to exit the game if you'll tick the option which runs it on the desktop, which was back in the settings thing. And then you can make it all nice and transparent and stuff, if that's your thing, and that's pretty much it really. So what you can also do is it has tools to like analyse and diagnose your computer and stuff like that. So it will show you why you're getting low performance, like what drivers you have which are out of date and stuff like that. Not sure if I can cancel that, so I'll just leave that going. And I shall talk to you and tell you like how this manages to boost your game and like how easily it will help you and stuff like that. So basically, what it does is when you boost it, it closes down all of the unnecessary sort of programs and such that you don't really need to run the game. It just disables the ones which are sapping your processing power and your RAM and stuff like that. So it just gives you a generally smoother experience on your computer. For example, on my desktop, I have 4 gig of RAM, and although that's like the recommended amount, for Battlefield, if I'm running a game of Battlefield 3 and then I quickly alt-tab out to the desktop, everything's really sluggish for a few seconds. It just all loads back into the RAM and stuff. Whereas with this, when I actually run this, because it clears out all the unnecessary programs, I can alt-tab out and still have super quick speed and stuff like that, so it's really quite handy. So that's another awesome feature of it. If we go over to the tools, we can tweak it to make it slightly faster for gaming, stuff like that. So there's just tweaks there which you can use to optimize your computer. I haven't actually used these yet, but I'm sure that they will work and be very good. You can also defrag your games, which makes them load faster, which I actually did with Battlefield 3, because Battlefield 3 is quite famous for having quite slow load times, and once I defragged it, it must have sped it up by at least 50%. It was just a massive improvement, so yeah. And also, it automatically updates your drivers for you. It scans and updates your drivers and stuff, so this is another awesome feature that Game Booster has. Because you can get because most people don't like searching around for the correct drivers, or just don't know how to find the correct drivers, whereas with this, if you have the Game Booster installed, it will just automatically search for the drivers and install them straight away for you. So it's like a really good helpful thing. So yeah, that's another great thing about this program, which if you couldn't tell already, I absolutely love. There is also options to record and screencast your things by, you can just record. Of course, you have to tick to enable the screencast module, and then you can just set up to record your game, which is a nice free way of recording your game, which is always really nice and great fun and stuff. So yeah, what I'll do now is I shall go. And I shall just quickly... Oh, as you can also see, it does display the FPS. So basically, this is like Fraps. It does exactly the same as Fraps. It's just got a lot more control over the sort of things you can do for capturing video. Unfortunately, it doesn't allow you to capture the audio from both the system sound and the microphone at the same time. You have to select between the two. But other than that, it's very complete. Other than that. is in the fact that you can capture whatever resolution you want. Well, game resolution which you're running the game at, medium, small, and smallest. But yeah, that is pretty much the overview for Razer Game Booster. The link will be in the description for you to download this, and basically all you have to do is just sign up for the beta, and then you should hopefully get accepted, and a great time will be had by all. And if you're running anything, even if you're running like GTX 680s or just super high spec PCs, this will still help to give you higher frames per second and stuff like that in your games. It's just really optimizes your computer really well for doing stuff like this, like games, and well, it is just designed for games really. Although I actually do find that it actually speeds up my rendering and stuff like that in Sony Vegas or Premiere or anything like that, or just general program speed does actually get sped up when you do this, because it just makes computers awesomer. It makes them so awesome. So yeah, I've been Jordan from It's Gaming. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and want to see more Free Game Fridays, even though this wasn't quite a game, but anyway, then be sure to subscribe. If you liked the video, be sure to like, and if you have any questions, then please ask me on my Twitter at its_gaming, because I find it much easier to reply to that than in the comments section below. So thank you again for watching, and goodbye.